So I had a bit of a crash here, I think, on my end. Can anyone hear me? I'm also trying to hear myself. You guys can hear me too. That was weird. Okay, Brent, thank you very much for being on the stream, and thank you for letting me know you can hear me. I think I might have jinxed myself by making fun of Evan White. Let me see if I can get that B ref back on the screen for you here. Okay, yeah. So Evan White is the counterpart to Nellie Fox. So while Nellie Fox struck out 15 to 20 times per season on 700 plate appearances, this guy struck out 84 times in 200 plate appearances. So if you scale him up to a typical Nellie Fox season, let's say 700 plate appearances, um, you're talking almost 300 strikeouts. So it's a batter that would average about 300 strikeouts in a full season against a batter that typically strikes out 13 to 20 times in a full season. Now, there are batters who struck out even less than Nellie Fox, but I want to kind of stay consistent how this started, right? This all started because of two cards in the Imperfect Team, the Nate Cornejo 40 iron and the new Nellie Fox card. So I kind of wanted to keep them in it. And then in an effort to balance out the stats or the ratings, we now have a really high strikeout batter. So Nellie Fox should behave like a low strikeout batter. And we now have a high strikeout pitcher. So hopefully Nate Cornejo pitches like a low strikeout um, pitcher. And I'm drawing a blank on the other hitter, but there was another hitter who had a 40% plus strikeout percentage in a season. And he was actually higher than Evan White, but he also had almost double the home run rate. So he was a batter who was swinging, but with a purpose. When he connected, he was blasting home runs. Um, Evan White wasn't doing that. So that's the new universe I was trying to set up in the base game. Now, when I did that, I screwed up. The first time I did it with just Nate Cornelius and Nellie Foxes, um, I replaced the A's and the Mariners and deleted every other team. And it ended up working out fine. But it turns out it worked out fine because they're both American League teams. When I tried to do this last sim, I thought, okay, well, the Mets and the Mariners are my two favorite teams. Let's put the Evan White, Nate Cornejo team on the Mets, and let's put the Nellie Fox, Matthew Boyd team replace the Mariners. What I didn't realize was because they're in opposite leagues, when I asked for a new season, a new schedule, it gave me 0 games because I thought they would do all interleague play. But I guess the way the AI works is it doesn't need to play a season to determine the champion because there's only one team. So there was no regular season and went right to the postseason because I guess by default they win the pennant. They don't need to play a season. And then I couldn't get out of that spiral. I tried to then move them into the same league and play the next season, and it still wouldn't generate a schedule. So now I'm going to do it the way I did the first one, um, which is I'm going to put them both in the AL West and then delete everyone else. And I know that will work. The only thing I need to do, I just realized, is so the way I do these sims is I create a roster file. And if you haven't done this before, I highly recommend it if you want to do this kind of importing players across time. I'll show you the files I created. So it can be any TXT file. And now I'm not hearing myself, so I'm wondering if it lets me guess. Oh, we're in an ad break. That's what it is. Okay, so we're back from the ad break. Um, so what I was doing was these are the roster files I used to import the players. So you can see there's a bunch of Matthew Boyds and then a bunch of Nelly Foxes. Um, there's two ways you can import players into the base game. The first is you can bring them in one at a time, and the other is you can create one of these text files and bring them in all at once. The other advantage of doing these text files is this third. So um, it goes player ID, the year of that player's, like the kind of profile or card, for lack of a better term, of that player you want, and then what roster you want to add them to. If you do them one at a time, you don't get this option of defining where they go. So that's a big benefit of using this roster file. The problem is, because of that problem mentioned earlier, I have to update this file to give it a destination that's in the same league. So this way there'll be a 2-team competition for the pennant, and it won't just cancel out the regular season like it did when I left the only 2 teams in the base Major League universe in opposite leagues. So this part's a little tedious, but trust me, it'll save us a bunch of time. Okay, so now I don't know if you can see. I'll add some extra lines here so you can see. Now it's all been updated. So now these players will all go on the Oakland roster, and the other players, that'll be Cornejo and Evan White, will go on the Seattle roster. This should solve the problem I ran into the last time I streamed, which was Saturday. All right, so back to the base game. I should also mention I do tend to also lose audio when OOTP is thinking really hard. All right, so um, I think I call this experiment 3. I'll call it 3B. Um, stuff AVK. This is our second attempt at it. We're going to go with commissioner mode. And cannot be fired. Okay. So my OBS chat window and system information windows or stream information windows have gone blank, but it looks like I'm still streaming. So hopefully the stream is continuing. I hopefully you can hear me too. But usually when the game is thinking I lose audio, which is not a great setup. I realize for streaming a game. I will work on upgrading my system during the upcoming Amazon Prime Day. Okay, it looks like it's almost done thinking. I mean, it does take a while because it's setting up entire baseball universe, but I think my slow system does take longer than normal. If you play base game, you can probably tell me how much faster your game's set up, but I'm hoping it's close to done here. The good thing is actually running the sim seems to take a lot less horsepower than these season setups. So I'm hoping the sim won't be as bad in terms of losing audio. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna try to recreate the other way I did it as close as possible because I know that works. So we'll take over the athletics first. It's going to do a bit of a brief setup thing here, so I might lose audio again, but I don't think it'll be as bad as this season setup. So I've been doing stuff in the base game since I almost say it's been at least a decade, and I'm still learning new things every time, especially since I've been streaming because now I have a chat to help me out. Um, and so every one of these season setups now like benefits from all the stuff I've learned both in years past, but also in the last couple months since I've been streaming. So for example, now knowing that if I want a two-team league, it has to be in the same league. The other thing that's a big difference in a sim like this, because I don't want players added to our rosters, is making all teams run by human managers. Because otherwise, the team you're running will be run by a human, by you, but the other teams won't, even though you set them up. And so as a result, there are times when the AI will take over. Most visibly is at roster expansion in September. There'll be open roster spots, so the AI is going to fill them. And so, we've done all this work to create a rosters that are just Cornejos, Evans, Foxes, and Boyds, and then all of a sudden you'll see a bunch of random players in your end of season stats who all join the team in September. And that happens because you're running one team as a human, and so the AI doesn't mess with your team, but it will mess with the other team, even though you set it up. And so you have to make that one run by AI as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up. Oh, I have a checklist that I use for these sims. I like to share it. I apologize to people who've seen multiple seasons that I've simmed, that you've seen this over and over. But I like to share it in case people want to screenshot it. Um, I'll also eventually put it up in my Discord so people can come there and find it. So every time I do one of these, I want to turn off historical transactions. I don't want the AI adding players to our team. If we don't do this, for example, anyone the A's traded for during the 2023 season will end up being added to our roster, which we don't want. We're also going to turn injuries off. There are times in the Sims where we want injuries on, especially if we're going for realism. But this way, with injuries off, we can just import a 26-person roster. We don't have to worry about having a reserve in case someone gets hurt. And then I like to see who's doing well. It matters less in this sim because it's all the same players. But for example, when I brought the all-time greatest father-son duos onto the same team for Father's Day, I want to see which ones were playing well enough to make the All-Star game. So the default for this setting is actually high, which is realistic. All-Star voting has a lot to do with how popular players are, not how well they're doing that season. And so by turning that off, it makes the All-Star voting basically a barometer of how well that player is doing statistically. And then I do a few things in the manager settings to make sure that our sim isn't interrupted, and I'll show you that too. So historic transactions off we set when we created the game. All the other things you'll mostly find under game settings. Game settings is also where we're going to go to get rid of all the other teams. Okay, the first thing we'll do here is go under players and team, and we will turn off injury. So enable injuries is checked. We're going to uncheck that. Now that also means other teams won't have injuries either, which is fine. I'm mostly concerned about our team not having injuries because we've selected these 26 players very intentionally. Then under league settings, it opens up all these other submenus. Under options, on the All-Star game here on the right side, influence of popular All-Star vote, we'll take it from high to none. I also don't let my pitchers win MVP awards because I want to see which batters the AI is saying have the best seasons, and the pitchers have their own awards. So that's how I prefer to do that. Okay, so the rest of the things we're going to do are in here. So edit league structure. This is one of my favorite things to do is we're just going to delete the entire AL East. So goodbye Yankees, goodbye Red Sox. They're going to be gone. All right, they're gone. AL Central, you're gone too. All right. All right, so we're going to leave the AL West for now, and then we're going to actually, we can delete the entire. And although last time, I'm worried that I'm going to screw myself here again. I want to delete the entire sub league. All right, I'm going to go for it. I'm a little worried that if I do this part wrong, I'll still have problems then with the schedule. Um, Okay, so we're going to remove every team now except Oakland and Seattle. Okay, now trying to remember, let me look at the notepad. This will help me. Okay, so Seattle is team Cornejo Evans. So it's going to be Seattle Cornejo Evans. Oh, wait, you know what? We're not using that notepad because, okay, here's what happened. um, I think I mentioned earlier to make the positions work, I had to make a bunch of edits to both not Evans, it's White, Evan White. Um, I had to make a bunch of changes to both Evan White and Nellie Fox to make them basically eligible to play catcher and and outfield and all the infield positions. But um, I don't want to do that all over again. So I exported the rosters to a file. So now I need to import the rosters. So this part I've never done before. So I may end up screwing it up, but let's see what happens. So I want to import rosters. Now, where am I importing it from? I'm importing it from a save game. Okay, so I apologize. You're not going to be able to see this because I'm using Windows Navigator to find where those rosters were saved. Every time I open the window, I'm worried that it's going to crash my OBS again. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's under. Okay, so I think it. So if you're not using Steam, your path will be different. I'm using Steam, so I'm pretty sure it's under Documents, Out of the Park Developments, OOTP Baseball 25. Um, hmm, Backups? No, those are my actual backups. There's like an import export menu or folder that I'm looking for. It's not online data. Hmm. Okay, I know it's called import underscore export, so maybe I'll search that. Import underscore export. No, it shouldn't be under documents out of the park. Okay, that's where I was looking. But then I know it was an import export folder. It wasn't under backups. I don't think it'd be under save games, but maybe. See, I hope Attica Online hears about this, so he realizes he is not the only one who struggles sometimes in stream to get stuff done. Okay, thank you. Actually, that is where I'm looking right now. So save games, look in the game, pick the game folder. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, yep, I see it now. I found import export. Okay, so now I need to go. This OOTP navigation I find very clunky, by the way. So I want to go up. I want to go up. All right, so out of the park baseball. I need to go up one more, I think. All right, out of the park baseball. Where is save games? Oh, it's because it's looking at our program files. I need to go all the way up. Yeah, I'm still under. Yeah. Oh, mine's under one. Okay, I don't know why my. I don't like that my system keeps saving stuff under OneDrive. Save games. Turns out I called it experiment 4 last night. Import export. There we go. Thank you, Twins 34. It's OP's way to export to the cloud between computers. Oh, I see. All right, now let me see if we have. All right. Uh, Oakland still has a regular roster. Oh, shoot. I needed to leave the Mets intact until I brought them in. I bet the Mariners. I bet that one worked. Oh no, it didn't work. Did it dump them all into the free agent pool? Let me see if there's a bunch of Cornejos in the. No. You know what? I wonder if the Mariners would have worked, except I changed their name. I'm pretty sure I changed the name of the Mariners, and I probably did it maturely. I should have done it after I imported the players. Yeah, it was. It might have been looking for Seattle Mariners. I just thought it would be looking for the abbreviation like the import function was. Hmm. Let me open up that roster file and see what it looks like. Okay, this is a corner of what that file looks like. Um, Twins, maybe you know, is it looking just for this ID number, or is it also looking for this entire string of New York Mets and the ID number? Because this I can take care of. I can. So this one, am I able to edit the ID number? I don't think it's gonna let me edit the ID number. I'm wondering, how is the how is the roster import looking to place players? Is it looking at this string of New York Mets and ID number 24? So on the here, let me switch back to the notebook file. Right, so this is the roster file that I exported from the last sim. It's just the idea of the team. Okay. So the Mets are 24. Let me find where the A's start. Wait, why does it have all these other players? It should just be. Okay, there's a bunch of other. I thought it would just be Cornejo's, White's. Oh, there's a whole free agent list. Should I just delete the free agents? So I guess it's looking for Team 12, the Mariners, and it's looking for Team 24, the Mets. Oh, this is that roster file that I exported. Um, so 2 nights ago, I made all the player edits, and then when I went to run the season wouldn't run because I had one National League, one American League team, and OOTP wouldn't create a schedule. It basically just said, okay, you each won the pennant and went straight to the World Series. So I didn't want to redo all the player work, so I just exported. I exported all the players. I exported the Major League roster, thinking I could bring it into the next Major League season that I created. So, like you can see, these are all the Evan Whites, right? Right. It's White Evan here. I can resize it. Oh, I can't import that? Oh, that's a bummer. So then I have to redo all the fielding rating edits and stuff. Oh, that's gonna suck. Oh, dang, that's a blow. Hey, who's trying to ball? What's going on? We're still working on that Nate Cornejo low stuff versus Nelly Fox high avoid strikeout. Oh, that's why it's always okay. Make a template save or a quick. So the reason so I have a save of it. Well, maybe we should do that then. Maybe you can tell me Cornejo's a tiger, so he automatically wins. So, twins, I have the save of that last season with all the player edits made. I just couldn't figure out a way to salvage the schedule. So, do you think you could help me salvage the schedule? So I even went ahead to 20, I put them in the same league, advanced to 2024 thinking, oh, in the next season maybe it'll issue me a schedule because now they're in the same league. And it'll be like the other sim I did when they're in the same league and it did create a schedule. Okay, all right. So let me save this. I might lose audio while it's thinking, but let me save it. Right now, who trying to ball the D Block versus Spore series? As far as I know, is it's in their court. They need to figure out how many game series, who's going to have home field advantage, um, what era we're going to play in, and then what day they want to do it. If they don't, I'll do it. But if they want to kind of be on at the same time, so yeah, so I'm ready to do it. And I have D Block's roster. All right, let's see. Um, who trying to, you want to take over his floor if he's too busy? Okay, so twins, I'm reopening that season from last night or 2 nights ago. So I think the issue with this is I already ran 2023 because it didn't give me a regular season, and I wanted to get to 2024 put after putting in the same league. So now it's in 2024. We're now like a full season plus in, and I still don't have a schedule. So if you want to run it all the way back, I have a backup. Yeah, who try to ball if you want. I mean, I think D Block does want to go head to head with Spore. But if you and D Block can work it out, I'm happy to do a head to head with you two in the meantime. Okay, so Twins, this is now preseason of the next year, right, of 2024. But the benefit of this is I think all my rosters are still should still be intact. Yeah, and so the benefit of this is like this Nelly Fox is already a catcher, right? He's got catcher ability. He's not great, but why is he so bad? Why is he so bad as catcher? He was not that bad previously. Okay, the outfielders are right. Yeah, I need a schedule for Tuesday, but first I need to fix the catcher Nelly Foxes. Sorry. No, 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 no. Okay. Somehow this either didn't save or I didn't do it, but I'm pretty sure I did it. All right, so I did this to make sure I wanted to take fielding out of the equation. Okay, so the Nelly Foxes are good. Let me check on the Mariners. Yeah, the catching ratings have disappeared for some reason. But the catching experience is there, so I know I was in this file. So anyone who doesn't play a lot of base game, you can go into editor and change people's fielding ratings or their batting or pitching ratings. It's really cool. Okay, so now we should be good. Let me just make sure. Okay, infielder. We gotta make sure we have infielder Evan White's and we have outfielder Evan. Okay, you know, it's like all the changes I made. That's a bummer. All the changes I made up here seem to have gone away. When I say up here, I mean to the fielding ratings. Oh, Twins, this is also interesting. Check out the outfielder ratings that I'm overwriting. Oops. And you'll see that they are actually different from Evan White to Evan White. Like here, they're 3, 8, 10, right? 3810, and the next Evan White they'll be different. They won't be 3810. And this was like this on day one. It's not just like variability in development now that we're a year in. 3810, now it's 8102. So even though I imported them, I mean, you saw the import file I used. It's the same player ID in the same year over and over. Oh, no import will be exact? I didn't know you knew that. Why would they do that? That's like a sincere question. Why if people are asking you to import clones, why why would it be set up to then import them differently? Or at least why isn't that a checkbox? Is to give it some randomness, but then shouldn't that be the choice of the like why not give that as a choice to say, do you want randomness on your import? Like when I noticed it, I thought it kind of made sense, right? Because like, oh, it's adding a little bit of variability. But then I thought, why is it assuming that the importer wants variability? To the normal person, they would never do this and they would never even know it. That is true. That is so true. Every time I do one of these, I realize how weird I am. And then I get so invested in the stats that come out of my made up simulation in a made up baseball game. Oh man. Okay, so that's done. So yeah, twins, let me take it over to here's the most current league structure. I initially had Seattle in the AL West and the Mets in the NL East. Oh, hold on, let me get caught up here. You never thought about importing the way I did. You made the dude and used the clone in the game. Yeah, so I initially was going to clone, and then I realized that the clones end up in the free agent pool, and that creates way more work. So I did the lazy way, which is just import them multiple times. Yeah, clone by clone, add them different teams. That is a pain. Who trying to ball? I have not actually pulled much today. I have a bunch of packs, and I know I should be ripping them, but I feel like I don't have time. And then every time I'm about to do it, then I'm like, oh, I'm a few days away from like the next drop, so I should just wait. And then I wait, and then I'm busy again, and I don't have time to open them. Yeah, twins, 315. I have around that much for multiple accounts. So I think across my accounts, I have maybe 1,500 packs unopened. It's ridiculous. Okay, so I have them here, but then when I go to generate schedule, here, I'll just show you what I've been trying to do. Oh, okay. Sorry, I hit generate schedule. I was just gonna show you. I hit generate schedule and I go to the Mets schedule and it's just blank. Like April, May, there's nothing. So you're saying go under options to see how the schedule's gonna work. So league settings. Are you talking about here under edit league schedule? Oh, wait. Uh, is it here under edit league schedule? Oh, options. Okay. Options. Yeah, see, this is why I thought it would work initially when I had the A's and the Mariners and the Mets because I had interleague play scheduled. But then I kind of understood the game is saying you don't need to play a season. Oh, you're seeing spinning wheel? I'm not seeing spinning wheel. Oh, for once it's not my computer, it's Twins' internet. I have two teams. I have two teams. Let me go back and show you here real quick. So I've got oh, my wife has just come home. So I might pause this for a second and go welcome her home. Um Let me pull this up. All right, y'all, I'm back. Sorry about that. Yeah, so the problem was before I moved them both into, I guess now they're in the NL East. Um, the Mariners were in the AL West, and the Mets were in the NL East. And the scheduler didn't like that because I think it was basically saying AL pennant's already decided there's only one team. NL pennant's already decided there's already one team. So the only thing we're going to schedule is the World Series. Okay, so you're saying, would that be under edit schedule? Oh, no, sorry, it's under options. You already told me that. Under options. Oh, if I pull a Willie Hernandez, I'll let you know who trying to ball. I actually got to draft Willie Hernandez in a perfect draft the other earlier today. That was a lot of fun. Um, okay, let's see. Where am I looking at here? So, but you're not. Well, yeah. Now I don't need interleague play because they're in the same league. But I was just pointing that as an example of I thought it would work with with NLAL because I had that checked. Turn off rainouts. Yep, that makes sense. Give me two team. So you're talking about here, typical series length, 2 game series. Okay. Okay. Should I try generating a schedule now? Disable playoffs. Okay. Um, Playoffs. Playoffs. Why am I not seeing playoffs? Oh, playoff settings. Disable playoffs. Oh wait, what's all this other stuff down here? Oh, I guess it doesn't matter now that I disabled it. Okay. All right. Let's try this again. Schedule generated. Yeah, Twins, you've definitely dug deeper into these menus than I have. Nope. You know, the weird thing is when I just started from scratch and just deleted everything except 2 ALS teams, it was fine. I think I broke something when I started with one AL and one NL team, and it's clearly difficult to unbreak. No, I would have thought that if I hadn't done it earlier. Like the season that gave me the season that this data comes from, it comes from a two team league. They just happened to be Oakland and Seattle, so it actually worked. I think when I went down the path of Mets Seattle, it broke something because but I would have thought all the things you just had me do would have unbroken it. Oh, who shot? I didn't realize you're only doing mobile for all this. Dude, if you were able to win a draft on mobile, I am super impressed because I've tried to do drafts on mobile and I was terrible at it. Oh shoot, y'all! I have a draft. I have a draft that's ending in 5 minutes. Shoot, hand make the schedule? Oh, that sounds terrible. Well, I guess with 2 teams, it's not that hard. Okay, so how do I hand make the schedule? Is that under? You know what though? With two teams, it's actually easy. What if I just make it home and away for 162 games? And what we just like pepper in some days off? Oops. Yeah, I agree. Two teams should be kind of easy. Back to options. Edit league schedule. Oh, only let me do 10 at a time. You're too interested. I think you know too much about this game. I'm wondering if at this point I should just start over. If I know it's going to work, if I start with two AL teams, as much of a hassle it is to edit those players again, I wonder if it's worth doing it. If I make a 10-game series, is it going to assume that there's no days off in the series? So I'm thinking I could just do 16 10-game series and then like two 1-game series. Oh, it assumes no days off. Go under options. Um, what happens if I what is use balanced schedule format? Does that matter? Under options, there are options to the actions. Options. Oh, edit. Oh, I see. Once I make the schedule. Wait, that takes me back to here. Oh no, sorry. Sorry. I was still on the stats from the other sim. My bad. Okay, so I did a 10-game series, but it doesn't put any days off in it. So if I go to my team schedule, right, if I go to April, I now have a 10-game series that I asked for. Oh, I'm getting a spinning wheel now. Okay, see, I get the 10-game schedule, but it's all a block. Oh, I can change that? How do I change that? That would be great. I can change the dates above. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Or I guess what I could do is I could just delete dates to make rest days, right? Oh, yeah. Wait, what if I try some of these? Is this the same as the other schedule command? Okay, that didn't work. What about load default schedule? Do they have a two-team default schedule? No. Yeah, Twins, should I just make a bunch of 10 game schedule blocks and then delete until I get down to 162? I was hoping one of these would work. Hey, you know how it says export to file, import from file? Could I go back to that season that worked and export that schedule and then import that? Oh, but that's for 2023. So I don't know that it would work. Oh, man. Why will it not generate a fictional schedule for me? I'm wondering, I'm actually wondering if I should just, because look, I'm 99% sure if I do it the way I did the first Cornejo Fox experiment, that it's going to work because it worked before. So I'm wondering if I should just, and then tomorrow start from scratch, knowing that I'm going to have to do those annoying fielding settings edits, but at least knowing the schedule will work. Because the good thing, Twins, about having you help me with this is I know I can't do the simple things I want to do to fix it. So if it's going to be okay, I can't hear myself, so I'm wondering if you can't hear me either. Am I just talking to myself? I mean, I can do this. Right? I do this, and then I reverse it. Oh, wait a second. What's going on here? Why are there now three games? Oh, did I need to change the date? Now I have a triple header. I think I just scheduled 10 triple headers in a row. Oh, man. Okay, I think this is what we're going to do. I think I'm going to start over. Let's do this. Let's do a quick experiment. Let's do a quick experiment to see if what I believe is true is true. If I start with just the AL and just two teams, like I did with the initial Cornejo Fox experiment, that it'll work. And if that works, then we'll call it a night. And then tomorrow when I stream, I will start by doing that. I'll try to make the edits as quickly as I can, but we'll know that it'll work. Let's do that. I just don't know why I can't hear myself. I'm glad you can hear me. For some reason, I can't hear me. Also, how amazing is it that I bought a laptop with no open memory slots and the existing memory is soldered onto the motherboard, so it can't be upgraded. Like, I don't understand what they get out of making something like that. Okay, this is experiment 4. Hey, Chunks, what's going on, man? I'm still struggling with this low stuff, high avoid K experiment. This will be a schedule test. Fortunately, I've got the master of the base game, Twins 34, in the chat helping me out tonight. Hey, I can use all the brains I can get, man. We're not doing it. So Chunks, I think I broke my sim by starting it with the Mariners and the Mets as the only two teams in the major leagues. Because then the base game didn't want to schedule a regular season because it already knows who wins the pennant. And now I can't seem to undo it. So we're going to try from the beginning. And I'm going to try to show Twins that when I just used two AL West teams and deleted everyone else, it still gave me a schedule. But if that doesn't work, then I don't know how I got the Cornejo Fox sim to work. And then I also know then that I have to go through the hard work of just building a schedule, which will be annoying, but at least I have the players in already. I mean, either way, it's going to kind of suck. I either going to have to make a schedule by hand or I'm going to have to go back and re edit all the player settings. Neither one is super appealing to me right now. And I've already passed the passed the deadline to draft my two perfect draft tournament teams. No, so I when it was just Cornejo and Fox, it treated them as average. So I didn't get the cool low strikeout environment I wanted. So now I'm going to have Cornejo is going to be on the team pitching to the Foxes, and now I have a high strikeout pitcher pitching to high strikeout batters on the opposite teams. So now we should have. Oh yeah, Chunks, I appreciate it, but the drafts are over. They ended 10 minutes ago. So plus, once I get fixated on stuff like this, it's hard for me to stop. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the A's. I'm going to keep the Mariners. I'm going to delete everyone else. And then hopefully I can show Twins that when I do that, it will generate a schedule. I keep saying I'm going to show Twins as if I'm trying to like prove something to him. But really, I just want to show him that I'm not insane and that it actually did work. Yeah, chunks. I was diagnosed as an adult having ADD, so I'm in the same boat as you. If it's something I'm really into, I get super focused, and otherwise I'm all over the place. And right now, I'm trying to show twins that I'm not insane, so I'm super focused. Okay, so here's how I did it last time, and I swear it worked. I have those screenshots as my proof. All right, here we go. Game settings. Here's what I did. I also, for some reason, can't hear myself anymore through my headphones through the stream. So I never know now if my stream is cut out. Maybe if I reload. I'm reloading myself listening to the stream. Hopefully, okay. So here's what I did. I deleted divisions. Yes, and I kept the AL West. Okay, thanks, Chunk. Appreciate it. Yeah, I used to take meds for it, and then I stopped seeing that therapist, so I stopped getting scripts for it. Um, but then I also kind of changed jobs where I didn't need to be as focused anymore. And so sometimes, though, I think maybe it'd be better if I got back on the meds. Okay, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I deleted the entire sub league, but this is very close to how I did it last time. So I removed this team. Because I remember being psyched that I was like nuking the AL East. That was my favorite part of it. Okay, so two teams from the same division. I think it's more important that it's from the same league. Um, yeah, I think they do help. Although they did have some side effects. I did feel jittery and um, okay, so then I went to generate schedule. Schedule generated. Oh, what the heck? Why is it not working now? Twins, I swear it worked. I swear it worked because otherwise I couldn't have shown you those screenshots. I don't know why it's not working now. What? Why is it not working? I swear it worked last time. So, Twins, you had a job where you had to be focused and decided to work overtime. And you're running high pots and some telecommunications stuff and fell asleep. Whoa! You woke up zapping yourself with voltage. I mean, did you have to go to the hospital? That sounds like this kind of thing like you could have died. Yeah, I've never had a job anything near that dangerous. If I drop the ball on something, it's just, we missed a client meeting and I get fired or something. Didn't have to go to the hospital. Well, that's good. That must have been scary as heck, though. Okay, come on, OOTP. I've got twins here. I want to show them that I'm not insane. What if I just delete Subleague? Maybe that was the difference. Okay, now maybe it'll do it. Wait, if this works, that means in the other sim, if I just delete the subleague, maybe it'll work. Oh yeah, no worries, Chunk. I'll check my Discord after we're done here tonight. Yeah, if y'all ever need to get in touch with me, feel free to ping me on Discord. It's enough to burn out a wire if there's a trope, but not enough to kill you if you get a little zap. So what happened? Just like gave you a big like zap to wake you up? That's still a scary way to wake up though. Ah, twins! Look, look! Twins, are you seeing this? Look at the schedule. I think I just have to delete the sub league in the other one. Oh man, I got goosebumps. I got so excited to show you this that it worked. Holy cow. A little burn on your on your arm. Okay, I think we got this, everybody. I think we got it. Twins, maybe I'm going to show you something tonight. I'm going to show you that if you delete the other sub league, it'll work. Yeah, that daily overnight non-life speed is off draft team, so I can't draft. I was in it with my alt too, so that's two of them that I won't get to play. Those are my favorites. The speeds, I think I have an advantage because I know the lower level from 5L 6L. Um, I know the cards pretty well for the rest, and I also don't panic at the end. Uh, Shucks, I'd be curious to see if you could agree with this. I think part of the ADD is the not panicking during speed drafts. Uh, I think for whatever reason, I kind of attribute it to that. All right, so we're gonna load this other game. Okay, we're gonna load. Oh yeah, normalizing ABK. Yep, this is the one. Yeah, so because I don't panic, I usually have like between the not panicking and knowing the iron rounds from 5L 6L, I feel like I'm getting an advantage there in the drafts. I'm thinking some teams I play aren't even getting picks in, and the ones that they do are probably like panic drafting where I'm like, oh, I know this one, I know that one. Um, and so I think like that the back end of my roster has an advantage over the back end of other rosters. That's my hypothesis anyway. Okay. All right, so let's just confirm. I have no schedule, right? April. Oh, this is a schedule I made up. Okay. With the all the double headers. Uh, all right. Oh, I'll be so psyched if I get to show Twins something because he's shown me so much stuff. I would love to return the favor and show him something that's helpful. Okay, so we're gonna go to edit league structure. See, there's still a stub here of an AL. We're in the NL, but the AL still exists because I have not deleted the sub league. So I'm going to delete the sub league, and now there is no AL. There's just an NL with two leagues. Now, when I generate a schedule and I go to the schedule, bam! Oh, who tried? Well, sorry. Let me catch up on chat here. Is there a way to see what the highest players you can get for combis? Like the highest score? Oh, yeah, there is. If you go to, no, no, not at all. The cards that can give you the biggest boost for your combis. Is that what you're asking for? No, no, not at all. Who tried to ball? I'm here to. Uh, I mean, I'm mostly here for weird base game simulations, but I'm here to help anybody who's got questions. The whole reason I'm streaming is because I benefited so much from streamers when I first started playing Perfect Team that I just wanted to kind of return the favor to the community and let people get last chance drops at the end of the night. Yeah, so yeah, you can. Yeah, exactly what Chunk's saying. Oh, you can't see it on Go. That sucks. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know then on Go. Like on Yeah, on PC you go to the regular card shop, not the combi card shop. And then there's a combi option where you pick the player you have uh like the combinator card you have. That's one thing actually I'd like to see them change. I'd like to be able to do that for any combinator card, not just the ones I own. Because if I'm thinking of buying a combinator, I want to know how expensive it's going to be upgraded. But I can't see the combinator values unless it's a card I own. So then if I'm going to buy one, I'm kind of going in blind, which isn't great. But yeah, Chunks, I'm sorry, man. I don't know about Go. I've never done that on Go. I don't know if it exists or not. Oh, so you want me to look it up for you? I can't look it up for you unless I own the card. That's the thing yeah, that's the thing I would have on my wish list is I should be able to do it. I should be able to do it for any card. Okay, y'all, I actually think we're going to do this sim tonight. What I don't know is if anything has happened in that 1 year that I had to sim that like nothing happened. But yeah, Chunks, I'm pretty sure you can only I think you and I are talking about the same part of the card shop. You can only pull up cards you own to see the values of the combinator food. Is Twin still here? I hope he saw the thing because I that's actually something I can give to him. He's given me so much stuff about the base game. Twins, are you still here? Did you see my revelation? That if you delete that stub of the other league, it'll make a schedule. All right, let's sim this bad boy. All right, let's sim to opening day, I guess. So this is just doing a bunch of preseason stuff. All right, so we're in April, so we're going to do a month here. Now, one of these teams is significantly better than the other. So Cornejo is not a good pitcher, and he's paired with Evan White, who's not a good batter. And on the other side, Matthew Boyd is, oh, good, Twins. Oh, yeah, the more you know. Well, I'm glad I was able to show you something because you've shown me so much stuff. Okay, yeah. So everything's super imbalanced because I can almost guarantee that the Mets are the team with Matthew Boyd and Nellie Fox. So let's go see if that's true. Yeah, Nellie Fox is a much better batter than Evan White, and Matthew Boyd is a much better pitcher than um, Nate Cornell. But let's check the Nellie Fox stats. He should have very few strikeouts. Yeah, he has single digit strikeouts for the month so far. So that's good. So ads, thanks for letting me know. I will pause. Okay, good. No ads. Or a quick ad. Okay, so these stats look pretty good. He is not striking out much. And let's check out Cornejo's well, of course, if Nelly Fox isn't striking out much, Cornejo must not be throwing many strikes. But let's see what the bullpen Cornejo is doing, because that was the big issue. Yeah, now even the bullpen Cornejo, although the bullpen Cornejo is better, he is getting more strikeouts. They're still all pretty low now. Yeah, Chunks, those 3 second ads might be because maybe my stream is so bad, no one wants to advertise for more than 3 seconds on it. Oh, I wonder if I should fix this. The Cornejos are not starting pitchers. I wonder if I should make them relievers because that matters for fatigue. Yeah, you see that guy went from fatigue to not fatigue because as a starter he was fatigued, but as a reliever he's ready to go again. Um, oh, you love me. I'm glad you like the stream, Chunks. I think it takes a certain kind of person to like what I do, but I'm glad you like it. Who tried ball used to do gold quick, so I've been trash lately with them. You know what? I had that happen quite a bit in PT24, where I'd be just like rolling for a while, and then something would happen, and I would stop winning. Um, I think a lot of times it was just I wasn't keeping up with like the changes in the card sets, or it's not that I needed new cards, but I needed to like make adjustments based on the new cards other people were playing. I noticed it a lot when I played dead ball tournaments. So yeah, I don't know if you knew this, but if you have starters in the bullpen as starters, their fatigue acts very differently than reliever fatigue. So like if they've pitched at all, they'll suddenly be like fatigued, like yellow, like they need to rest. Um, but if you turn them to relievers, then they're like 70% rested. Wait, Chunks, did you just get a duplicate of a Brad Radke combo that you're already selling? Okay, I don't know if that'll matter from a performance standpoint, but I like now that they all are showing the proper bullpen fatigue. Oh, speaking of RNG, did I show you guys this? Uh, do you guys see that? I had some emotes made. I'm gonna have the guy switch the order. He didn't do it the way I asked. I wanted the NSFW to be the biggest font in the middle. I think it'll read a little better, but So I think anyone right now, I think anyone who's following me gets most of these. I think. I also have AI gonna AI, but for some reason Twitch hasn't approved that one yet. So I got RNG gonna RNG and a AI gonna AI. And then I got my logo. I wasn't sure about these, especially the phonics one. I thought might be a little obnoxious, but then I did it in a stream that EVC was in, and he was like, "Oh, that's great." So I was like, "Oh, okay. If EVC likes it, I think I'm good." So yeah, I think you guys all follow me, so you guys will have access to most of those too. Thanks, Junks. I hope the AI gonna AI gets approved soon because that's probably the one I end up saying the most. And then I have some new ideas, like I'm gonna have one that says reverse sweep, and the letters in sweep will be backwards, and I'll have like a broom on it. I've been just trying to think about like all the different phrases I end up saying a lot, and I want to make emotes on them. All right, so let's keep running this sim. I think it's working the way I wanted to. Oh, 3R lock might need to be a sub. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. I need to look into the others then. I was just throwing them onto my account, so I don't know where they necessarily landed, whether it's followers or subscribers. So I actually have two subscribers. EVC subscribed. He was my first subscriber. And then someone I don't know has subscribed. And I thought that was really cool. I wish I could thank them. I haven't seen them on stream at all. But yeah, that was kind of cool. That was very unexpected. All right, let's keep running this sim. All right, let's do another month here. I think the records will continue to be a blowout because Fox and Boyd are so much better than the other two. What's next? All Star? Oh, there's no All Star game because there's just the one league. Hey, Chunks, no, don't feel bad about not subbing, man. I apologize if that's how it came across. I don't expect anyone to sub. I was super excited that anyone did it all. Um, yeah, especially since you had a fire, you lost everything, man. If anything, we should be like crowdsourcing money for you, especially until your insurance kicks in. Um, so do you have AC in your? I think you're like temporarily in a trailer, right, on your property while you're waiting to rebuild. So there's no natural breakpoint here in the sim. So let's just go to the end of June and then we'll look at the stats. Normally I use the All-Star break as the natural stopping point to check in on things. Go in a camper. So does your camper have AC or is it just like you open all the windows and rely on the breeze? Because I used to live in Georgia and when it's hot and humid, man, the breeze is just more warm air. I'm sure you can relate. You got one that's 5,500 BTU and you think you need 10,000? Yeah. Yeah, those ratings are no joke. I used to think like, oh, whatever. And then it's like, yeah, it doesn't work unless it has enough BTUs. You get a bigger one. Is it humid where you are? Because if it's not too humid, I know those, we used to call them swamp coolers in Georgia, but like those will work if it's not too humid, where you just like spray air and fans and it cools things down. All right, let's see how the pitchers are doing here. We'll check the Mariners staff first. Those are the Cornejos. Yeah, these strikeouts per nine are working out. Look at this. He's thrown half a season, and as a team, they have was about 50 strikeouts. Oh, you live in Maine. Well, I mean, I guess the good thing is your AC season is probably pretty short, right? Yeah, I went. My family and I went camping when I was a kid in Maine, and I remember it was like middle of summer, and we were wearing like hoodies and stuff. It was so chilly. It was great. Yeah, I don't know if it's that they stayed as starting pitchers, but I think it's that because you have a high strikeout pitcher in the league, that even with the bullpen boost, now instead of being like the other side of the bookends, it's just like a slightly less terrible pitcher. You're gonna move the entire camper to underneath a maple tree. Oh yeah, the shade. Oh yeah, if you're not in shade, man, that'll make a huge difference. That sounds good. All right, let's see how our so Nate Cornejo's batter is a high strikeout batter. So let's see how many strikeouts this dude's ringing up. Oh, we're on July 1st and he's got 133 strikeouts. Look at this dude. Half his at bats are strikeouts. Half his plate appearances. 262 plate appearances, 133 strikeouts. Oh, Twins, you're in Iowa? Yeah, I've been in like the Great Plains. Like I've been in Kansas in the summer, and it's almost like you can feel the heat and humidity like shooting up from the ground. Hey, Nolan, what's up, man? So I don't have any science behind this. I did have a concentration in decision sciences in grad school, but um, I kind of only go as high as um, the combinator points are affordable. So basically, I buy until I'm paying up to 5 perfect points per combi point, and then I run it. So even if it's like 10%, theoretically, right? Your expected value is you run that 10 times and you should make it. Um, I've been able using that 5 perfect point threshold. I've usually been able to get to like into the mid 20s. Sometimes I spend a little more just to get it to like 24, 25% consistently. And on average, I would say it's taking me less than 4 tries to get level one and two. Of course, level two gets a little more expensive. So I've been shooting for like the 20% range. Um, but I agree with the advice I've gotten from other people on the higher levels. Um, yeah, chunks, exactly. I'm trying to get lucky. But I'm my shots at getting lucky are cheap because I'm only buying points until they get expensive. Um, I think I am going to follow advice I've heard from other people though, because it gets so expensive at higher levels. Starting at level three, I'm going to go for 100%, even if it costs more money, because each lottery ticket then instead of like $1 lottery ticket, now each lottery ticket is $100. I'm like, I'm not going to play that lottery. I'd rather just get the sure thing at that point, even if it's expensive. Um, I will say though, I'm never going to run like a 99%. I would much rather pay, even if it's expensive, to get that extra 1% than risk losing 99%. Um, so my personal preference right now is levels 1 and 2. I'm running it around 20%, and then beyond that, I'm going to max it out. So as a result, I have a bunch of level 2 combinators and nothing beyond that for now. Yeah, exactly, chunks. It's like a cheaper gamble at the lower levels. And theoretically, if I believe what I'm saying at levels 1 and 2, I should be willing to buy 1% lottery tickets and try 100 times. But at that point, I'd rather just like try to max it out, get 100%. Chunks has all these theories, even though he's never done it yet. Yeah, Nolan, what I do is I go into the card shop, I search the combi for the food, and then I sort it by combi points, and then I go down until I find like the cheapest perfect points per combi point, and then I buy those out until they get expensive, and then I go down and do and repeat, and then so usually I'm able to get those first two levels pretty cheaply. But I don't profess to be an expert on combis. I'm very late to the game on those. Um, I'm definitely playing catch up. So yeah, this Evan White, who had a 40% strikeout percentage, is striking out even more in this. Probably because he's facing a high strikeout pitcher all the time. So then let's check out the other side. Let's see what Nelly Fox is doing. Oh, look at these Nelly Fox stats. Single digit strikeouts halfway through the season. And he's hitting 300. Now he's not hitting bombs because that's not his thing. Yeah, who tried to ball? I didn't realize how much stuff is missing from Go until we started talking about that combi food price thing. Um, but that is why I said if you're doing well in drafts at all, I have a lot of respect because I've had to do drafts on my phone before when I couldn't get to my tablet or laptop. And man, it felt so limited. Couldn't like look up stuff. So anyone who can draft well on Go, mad respect to them. Hey, Chunks, know about your spelling, man. As long as I can figure out what you're trying to say, it's all good. You haven't slept in a few days? Yeah, Chunks, who trying to ball plays just on Go. Can you believe that? All right, and then let's see how this Matthew Boyd's doing. Yeah, his strikeouts per nine were around 12, and they're up quite a bit because he's only facing a high strikeout batter. So all these bullpen boys, I'm going to set their position to reliever because otherwise their fatigue is going to be all screwed up. Okay, this is awesome. This is exactly what I was hoping would happen with these stats. Super low strikeout Nelly Fox, super high strikeout Matthew Boyd and Evan White. We couldn't quite get any Nelly Foxes to zero strikeouts though. That would have been amazing. That's what I was kind of hoping would happen. That at least one of them would make it through the season without striking out. It goes to show that how hard baseball is, man. Like, I mean, I know this is made up computer baseball, but let's see. Yeah, let's go back to Nelly Fox. The lowest is two strikeouts, and that's one who's not getting full of plate appearances. So this is one of the catchers. So he's splitting time. So he's not, so of the ones who are getting, let's say, at least 300 plate appearances, which one's the lowest? This one has five strikeouts. Oh, this one has four. 325 plate appearances and four strikeouts. It's the one who's playing in the outfield, I think. Yeah. So some of it's only been like a day. Melatonin will work, if not Ambien. Oh man, I even think about all the meds that burn up in the fire too. I mean, I don't know why I didn't think about it. It's everything, right? But I think it's hard to think about what everything means until it happens to you. All right, this is working the way I thought. Let's do the whole season. Let's look at some end of season stats. Hey, Chunks, melatonin is over the counter, right? It's like a supplement. I remember I used to get people used to recommend taking melatonin when traveling overseas to like get adjusted to the jet lag. Nelly Fox had a 32 game hitting streak. That's Nelly Fox 2. Oh, he's a catcher too. So even with the catcher penalty, I don't know if that's true, but I've heard there's a catcher penalty just like there's a DH penalty, which kind of makes sense because catcher's such a play. So Chunks, because of the heat, do you just like lay low during the day and then like start doing stuff in the evening when it's cooler? 7 game RBI streak by Nelly Fox 9. Yeah, Chunks, I don't know if this is related, but I'm up so late and then I always have to get up at the same time because I have two young kids that I have to get to school. And so I've always wondered if like it's, the ADD is part of that, that I have a hard time like quitting what I'm doing to go to sleep. Right? Because I'm up streaming with you guys until like past midnight, sometimes like 1:30. And then I have a bunch of drafts to do. And then so by the time I get to bed, it's like 3 o'clock. And then I'm up at 6:30 to get the kids to school. So I'm like, I can't tell if it's ADD. I used to think it was the ADD meds that kept me up, but then I'm not on the meds now and I'm still up super late. So yeah, Twins melatonin doesn't help you at all. That's a bummer. Well, so you're on a dose four times what knocks most people out, and it doesn't help you at all. That's wild. I guess we're just a bunch of insomniacs up on the internet playing fake baseball together. It's good though, man. You find community. You find like-minded people on here through the game or through Twitch or whatever it is. You love sleep chunk? Yeah, you know what it is? Like part of like I don't like to sleep because I feel like there's other stuff I could be doing. Like I could be doing this idea I had for a sim, or I could be doing drafts. But then you're right, 3:30, I feel so annoyed. You wake, forget about your bagels draft or lower lap, and then you wake up and you then go back to sleep. So when you get up for good, do you even remember doing it, or do you look at your roster and be like, "Who did this?" All right. Whoa, Nelly Fox had a 64 game on base streak. Oh, the good side of this sim, the good side of this sim had a 1355 game score. That's actually one of the best scores. Is this a diamond achievement? I don't think I've ever gotten a diamond achievement in 25. 64 game on base streak will get you a diamond achievement. Exactly. I don't know if you guys watched SNL in the 80s, but there was this great Kevin Nealon skit. It was Mr. Short Term. No, it was Tom Hanks. Mr. Short Term Memory, where he goes to a restaurant. He's like, they bring him the bottle of wine he orders. Like, what is this? Like, you bring me wine and try to make me pay for it? And then he's eating dinner. He's like, who put this food in my mouth? That's who tried to ball waking up saying, who drafted this team for me? It's terrible. All right, and then this team got a 121 game score, which makes sense. If it's only two teams and one's getting a high game score, the other's going to get a crappy game score. Oh, so Twins, I don't know if you're still on, but the other thing I learned, and we're going to need this for that franchise favorites league, is to keep the AI from adding players to the other team, because I can only manage one team of the two, is I had to put the entire league under human control. So I have to remember to do that for the franchise favorites league. But it worked out. It's working really well now. All right, let's check out these pitching stats now. Oh, this is interesting. I turned all these Matthew Boyds into relievers, the ones who were in the bullpen. The AI has turned them all back into starters for some reason. Maybe because his stamina is too high. Anyway, this is a whole team of pitchers. So I think with Cornejo, we saw that by having these two bookends, it is leaving them pretty true to their performance. But Matthew Boyd is facing such a strikeout prone batter that his about 12 strikeouts per 9 innings has gone up. Yeah, I already have injuries off. So, yeah, I am going to disable minors. It does make the sim go fast, at least the setup go faster. Um, so his strikeouts per nine are up almost 50%. He's hitting 18.5 in some cases. Who tried to ball so many tigers? I know it was coincidence, but I was like, oh, this is meant to be. Oh, we're in an ad, I think. Okay, I think we're back. Sure. So, Twins, is having Turbo like being a sub on every channel? Is that how it? Is that kind of how it works? Like you don't see you don't get ad breaks. You I guess you don't get like all the little perks, but oh, that's awesome, man. Okay, so the Matthew Boyd super strikeout pitcher, Matthew Boyd, and then I think we already saw the Nelly Foxes, right? Oh no, we didn't see his final end of season stats. Ooh, okay, his actual strikeouts in that season were 13. Only one Nelly Fox had that many strikeouts. All the rest had fewer. Some of these are off the bench, but this one had the most plate appearances. He had 665 plate appearances, struck out. Oh no, sorry, I was looking at the wrong column. Okay, these are in the range of what he would have done normally then. That's interesting. I thought just by facing only Cornejos, he would end up with fewer than he actually had. I mean, I guess some of them are. This one had Nelly Fox 14 had 631 plate appearances, only struck out 9 times. Um, but all the rest are like struck out his normal rate, which is surprising because he's only facing Nate Cornejo. Huh. That's different. I was not expecting that. I thought facing Corneo, he would literally there would be one Nelly Fox who had zero strikeouts. Okay, so let's check out the Cornejos and the Whites. Okay, Evan White. Well, he leveled off. Some of the Evan Whites were on a pace for 300 strikeouts. Um, but he also kind of got it under control. I mean, I think some major leaguers hit 200 strikeouts, right? Because they're trying to slam home runs. I think 200 is not uncommon these days. I mean, this 261 is a bit high. That's over half his at bats or half his plate appearances. It's way more than half his at bats. 516 plate appearances, 261 strikeouts. All right, let's see how the Cornejos did then. Oh no, in this case we'd be seeing. Oh wait a second. Oh yeah, right. Because Cornejo is facing Nelly Fox. That's right. Okay, so Cornejo facing Nelly Fox is wow, almost 200 innings, 15 strikeouts. 175 innings, 9 strikeouts. 175 and two-thirds innings and 9 strikeouts. That seems impossible. Here, 170 and two-thirds innings and 7 strikeouts. That's crazy. See, with those numbers, I would have thought the Nelly Foxes would have much fewer strike. Oh, you know what it is? It's these bullpen. The bullpen Cornejos are still, relatively speaking, bringing the heat because they're ringing up these 2.5 and 2.5 strikeouts per nine. That's where Nelly Fox's strikeouts are coming from. I wonder if that means if I can find a relief pitcher who had a similar strikeouts per nine as Cornejo, right? If they're already a reliever, they don't get the bullpen boost, is my understanding, because they're not moving from starter to reliever; they're already a reliever. then they wouldn't get the bullpen boost. Yeah, they're not getting the stuff boost. So then we might get Nelly Fox closer to zero. Although I can't imagine anyone surviving in the bullpen with a 2.1 or lower strikeouts per nine. But might be worth looking. A couple things here. I think we did prove that it's that normalization, or I think Twins and AZ Axel both referred to it as the totals issue, right? The game's trying to normalize things, so you have to break that normalization. Like we couldn't have Nate Cornejo pitch like Nate Cornejo unless we had a strikeout pitcher in the league too. His stamina is so in a from a PT perspective, it would probably be what you would call like maybe around 50. Actually, we could probably pull up his card when we get out of the base game here. But from an editor perspective, his stamina is pitching ratings. It's a 122 on a scale of 250. So it's about halfway. So I would guess it's about 50 as in perfect team terms. So yeah, because it's a 122 out of 250. Um, I don't know that as a starter he would get that. Um, what do they call it? Borderline starter penalty or not? But the good thing is I didn't. Yeah, a little below half, right? If anyone has perfect team open, if you can look him up in the card shop, I'd be curious to see what his stamina is. Because anything below 50 in perfect team, you get the borderline starter penalty. Yeah, you can see here his. I don't know if it actually says it on the card, but I know Spore has mentioned on a couple of card drops that 50 is the cutoff for borderline starter. And so he's very intent now that he knows that he's very intentionally picking whether a pitcher gets like a 48 or a 50 stamina. Like if it's someone who is mostly reliever and only pitch starter, like emergency starts or something, he's going to make it 48 or 49. So then you have to make that decision, just like the real life managers did, and like, do I really want to start this guy or not? And then if it's someone who's like more regularly started, I think that's where he said he's going to make them 50 or above. I'm like putting words into his mouth, but that's my recollection of how he explained it. Oh, I didn't realize you were saying you thought you actually saw it on his card. Because I don't think that's actually something they put on the cards. I think that's why he had to, like, Paul had to explain it to everybody. And to his credit, like he said, like he didn't know that either. And so I think he had inadvertently made some cards borderline starters when he didn't intend to. Oh, he has 65 in perfect team. Okay, so he's a legit starter then. So that's legit starter stamina. That also might be why the AI insists on turning him into a starter even in the bullpen, even though I think that messes up your fatigue stuff. Oh, you have seen it on cards before? Okay. I wonder if that's something he started adding after he learned about it. But you see, like this guy's a 40, and it reflects that, right? His opponent batting average, like in editor, if you look over here on the right, this shows you based on his profile what he would be expected to give up. And it's a 349 average, 6.95 ERA, and 5.89 FIP, and a negative 1.54. So he's by no means good, but oh, go to his profile. Yeah, I was going to go to his profile anyway to show you. Right, he's got good, I mean, relatively good home run suppression and control, and I think that's why this shape plays in cap tournaments and low iron tournaments. But I mean, he's not a good pitcher. He's just relatively good for a 40. And it's the fact, and even this stuff being a 35 seems high. But oh, it might be because he's a starter or a reliever. Let's go to one of the starter Cornejos. Oh, okay. Even the starters are 35. I thought they'd be a 20. It said bullpen emergency starter. Oh, over here it does. Yeah. Well, this damn is a 55, but I wonder if that's base game versus perfect team. So to make it a more relevant 40, Paul may have added some stamina and stuff. I think he has like latitude to do that. I mean, he's got a tough job, right? He has to make the cards like relatively, a reflection of what actually happened, but then he has to make them playable. And so, to make Cornejo a playable 40, I'm sure he had to do a few things like boost his stamina and stuff. But I guess that's why we talk about cards instead of players, right? Because it's a card. He has to do things to make the cards play. So yeah, Chunks, I agree. He does have a tough job, and he's got like thousands of people on stream all ready to criticize him. So it's not just a tough job, but like he's out there facing the firing squad all the time. I actually think the most impressive thing about the job he's been doing is, first of all, he'll admit when he does something wrong, which most people will not do, especially like someone in his position. And then the other thing is that's super impressive is he'll then go out and, I mean, he can't change cards once they're out there. He's made that very clear. But then he'll do stuff to then try to like, make things right, which, if people already aren't willing to admit they're wrong, then they're definitely not going to do that. So I think it's super cool that we have someone in his position who listens to the community. He plays the game. I think that's super important. And he's willing to say, like, yeah, okay, like that wasn't great. I'll do better on the next one. Most people, I think, don't have the. Um, I think it takes a lot of self confidence to be able to say that. To say, yeah, okay, I screwed that up. I'll do better. I think most people are like, oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Stop complaining about it. So Chunks, I'm reading your comment here. Let's see. One thing you don't agree with is the future legends. Yeah, so I kind of know what you mean. I kind of view the future legends cards as like superhero versions of players because these are a lot of these are people like haven't even had their cup of coffee in the majors, right? And so I think they fill a certain role in the game. Um, but yeah, I agree. Like sometimes they seem almost ridiculous. Fantasy, that's a good way to think about it. Yeah, fantasy. Um, but I also think they're super fun too. So um, like they're some of my favorite cards in the game. But especially when it's doubly fantasy when you see the same guys having future legends cards year after year, and it's like, okay, are they ever going to become actual legends, or are they always going to be future legends? But yeah, I think it's the fantasy versions. That's a really good way to think about it, I think. And also, you're going to see too, like we're still early in the cycle. Whenever, and I only started playing in December, so I saw all the late cycle stuff in PT24. Um, at some point, we're going to start getting like the equivalent of the PT24 Immortal cards, and that's when we started getting like, you know, really good Hank Aaron cards and really good like Manny Ramirez cards, and they were like incredibly good cards. Um, and so I can't. Well, I want to say I can't wait for us to start getting those, but at the same time, like it completely upends the meta, and so all the cards you like playing or suddenly become irrelevant. So that part I won't miss, but it's gonna be fun when those cards start hitting the um, hitting our packs. All right, so let me see. What was I going to do here? Oh, yeah, I wanted to take another look at the Corneo stats. So I think the only way to make this even more what I was hoping was, like I said, to get relievers who are low strikeouts per nine so they don't get the boost. And then I think we'll really see Nelly Fox do his thing. But I think overall, I want to call this experiment a success for a few reasons. The first iteration of this, I think, really showed what I call normalization. I think what Twins and ACS were calling the league totals issue. I don't necessarily agree. Like if I were designing this game, I don't necessarily think I'd want it to converge to like what normal major league stats do. Because if I import an entire league of Babe Ruth, I want all of them to hit 50 or 60 home runs. I don't want them all hitting 20 home runs. Um, like that's not why I would bring them into the game. But I mean, maybe that's super hard to code, or maybe there's other issues. I don't know. But I do think we also found a way to counteract that, right? Like if you're going to bring in a bunch of Babe Ruths, then you just have to bring in a bunch of like Buddy Biancalanas or whoever your like low power batter is, because then your Babe Ruths will still act like Babe Ruth. So I think we learned that and we showed that. I also think we showed the the power of the bullpen stuff boost when Nate Cornejo is striking out 24 batters per nine innings in the bullpen. I think we showed that. Um, and we showed how to counter those things, right? Like you bring in a high strikeout pitcher and it balances out the low strikeout pitcher, and they both act like you would expect them to, which is good. I think we're going to end up using that in a lot of future sims, especially if I do more of these head to head sims where it's just like two or four players. We have to pick them carefully so that we don't get that totals or normalization issue. But now we know how to counter that. Maybe we even have two teams in the league that just play each other and we're not going to care about their stats, but their only purpose for existing is to break that normalization thing so our two teams can do their thing. Like I didn't even think about that. I could have had, four other teams of this league with high strikeout pitchers and batters, and they could just be playing each other, but they're in the same league, so they would break that normalization, and then we could just focus on Cornejos and Foxes. So yeah, I learned a ton doing this, and these results ended up being super fun. Especially like I can't get over the 24 for nine strikeout Cornejos. That's awesome. All right, gang. I hope you guys had as much fun watching this. I apologize for any frustration you must have felt as I'm trying to figure out how to get the schedule to work, but in the end, we figured out how to do that too. Yeah, Chunks, I totally agree. I think we just need to add teams that kind of run in the background, right? And their only purpose is uh, to just make things more, to make our players more, I don't know what the right word is, but um, to get our guys to act more like you would expect them to, we just need other players playing in the background. Yeah, cool. All right, let me find someone to raid you guys into. Oh, that's interesting. When my OBS crashed, we had I think 22 people back on when I came back on, and we're now up. I actually thought our count would go down as we got later into the night. We're up to 43. Yeah, twins, that's a great suggestion. If Baffle's on, if no one's doing OTP, I'm all for sending folks to Baffle. Yeah, we're the only OTPers on, so is he definitely still on? I know he was doing his big NCAA football thing tonight. Oh, he is still on. Perfect. All right, Chunks, have a great night. Whoever else is still around, have a great night. Thanks for hanging in there with me through the OBS crash and my difficulties figuring out the scheduling. Well, I'm glad we figured it out. Twins, you and I learned something tonight. Oh, Chunks, you got NCAA football too? Awesome, man. Have a great time with that. Who's your school? I'm a Georgia Tech guy, but our football team is terrible, so but I would probably still play them in the game. We had our moments though. If Chunks left, I'll ask him the next time I see him. I'm kind of curious now to know his team. Doesn't have names, so you do Boston College. That's awesome. Well, BC's in the ACC with Georgia Tech. Chance, you do Minnesota ISU. Is that Iowa State? Is ISU Iowa State? I say okay. Is that the Cyclones? I think, and then Iowa's the Hawkeyes. Oh, Brock Purdy. Right, right, right. Yeah. The main team is like one. So is Maine Division Two? Cyclones for Iowa State. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, man. Every time I think about getting that game, I think like, where's the time going to come from between work and the kids and OOTP? OOTP is taking up so much time. I'm happy for you guys that you're able to find the time to play NCAA football because I think I would like to do that too. But I mean, I'm not complaining. I have so much fun playing OTP, and you guys are just seeing like the tip of the iceberg. The stuff I do on stream, like I used to do all kinds of stuff on my own. Now I at least have people like to share it with and talk to about it, so it's a lot more fun. All right, gang, I'm gonna send you all the Baffle 99. If you haven't been in his stream, it's always a great time. And he's playing a fun game, so if you hang around, I suggest to follow. All right, guys. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow night. I think I might end up doing the Not Safe for Work team, maybe a couple more games of that. All right. Thanks again for joining tonight. Appreciate it. And AZ Axel, thank you for the raid. I'm sure you're long gone, but I appreciate it. And see you guys around. I always say goodbye to people, and then I forget that it takes like 10 seconds for the raid to go through. Oh, that's cool, man. You feel like they put an effort in making playable versus. Yeah, I always wonder why people keep buying Madden, but I guess you get new players and stuff. Yeah, oh, he's open. Get that sack. Let's go. Oh, and he doesn't have timeout, so let's go. Say 20, 24, 20 before the half. And they'll get to the Let's go. Spike and stop the clock. Ball. Guys, thank you so much. Hey, guys, go follow Franchise Time Machine. He's a good dude.